Good morning and welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be on match day. And what a match day is today, where it's Tottenham take on Manchester City at the Etihad. I'm joined by three gorgeous young men today. We've got Jimbo, as always, my other half, better half, some might say. We've got Jose and we've got Ash as well. Jimbo, how are you doing, first of all?
Well, I wish I was young, Kate. I really do.
I thought you was going to say, I wish I was gorgeous.
Every time I turn the telly on, Arteta or Eze's on there. I'm losing the will to live here. Apart from that, I'm all right.
Good. Jose, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's nice to be back on. Been away for a few weeks, but it's nice to be back on with everybody and with yourselves. And looking forward to all we've got to talk about today, and looking forward to the game as I always do.
Yep, exactly. And Ash, long time no see. How you doing?
Long time no see, my people, my Spurs family. Yes, my extended arms. Big up, man. In Coys we trust. In Coys we trust. Listen, it's good to see the boys back again, and we only get to see them once a week for now. So I'm very excited to watch them. Man City, we typically do well against, so bring on the positivity, right?
We do. Look, I've been owing and ahhing about whether we should mention anything about thee who shall not be named. Ash, have you got anything to say about thee who shall not be named?
I've done my crying in my pillow already. I'm trying to take a leaf out of Thomas Frank's book, and he said 24 hours after that, you move it to one side and you carry on with the rest of your life.
Yeah.
The rest of it is just going to be complete copium. Oh, we didn't want him anyway. Or, oh, he didn't want us anyway. Oh, like we didn't have personal terms agreed. See, I'm doing it already. Let me just stop. Move on. Oh, it's not worth it.
Do you know what? Jim was like, don't mention it. It's meant to be a pump-up show. But yes, we won't go into Eze. I think everyone has spoke about it quite enough this week. And look, as Thomas Frank rightly says, if they don't want to play for us, then we don't want them. So let the Woolwich have him, and we will move on to bigger and better things. But
that's one good thing. One good thing about being old. So I supported this club for 55 years plus. I've seen so many disappointments. It's just another one. That's what happens as time goes on.
But I am one of these people who truly believe everything happens for a reason. So maybe there's a reason in the universe why we weren't supposed to get him, and it wasn't just for pure humiliation of the Spurs fan base. But we will see. Going on to the game today, obviously it doesn't get much more difficult than this, going up to the Etihad. Although City have only won 4 of their last 12 against Spurs in all competitions. We slapped them 4-0 last November, and then 2-1 in the Carabao Cup as well in October. City, Jimbo, back then were in a bad run of form. I think they had a run of 6 out of 7 losses. So, you know, a different Manchester City than what we're seeing at the minute. They've got the new Reinders, who looks epic. Haaland scored a brace last week. How are you feeling about the game? Are you feeling confident?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we start that bad run?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we did. There we go.
Yeah, I'm very, very confident, Kate. I think we're going to smash them. I really do. I was so confident with this game. It's something with City. They just can't seem to beat us, can they? You know, and Haaland, I mean, I think the last time they beat us, he scored, but he never really seems to have a good game against us. We seem to be his bogey team. So I'm confident. I'm looking forward to it. I love playing the big teams. They're the games I really look forward to, the big teams.
Yeah. Jose, what about yourself? How are you feeling about the game today?
I'm intrigued and I'm interested because once more it's us. We're playing again. We've had 3 months without football. Now it's come back. I can't get enough of it. I want to see us play every day if possible. And the other thing is, obviously, we've got Thomas Frank as our manager now, and it's going to be interesting to see what lineup and what system and what tactics he uses, because he's been known to switch up systems and tactics depending on the opponent they're playing. So today we'll get an inkling on what the players have been working on for the whole week since the Burnley game. I mean, if you look at the last 2 games, competitive matches, that is, he went with a 5-3-2 against PSG and then went back to a 4-3-3 against or a fluid 4-3-3, should I say, against Burnley. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, Man City they did improve their squad. They improved their squad, but they started improving their squad in the winter transfer window last season. Bought a couple of more players in. Man City have always got a really good team and a really good squad to select from. And, you know, you've got to play what's in front of you. And today, it'll be interesting to see. It's probably going to be a game of chess today. Guardiola's way of playing, and he's got his team set up his way. And he's not going to tell Thomas Frank how he's doing that. And Thomas Frank equally has got his system set up, and he's not going to tell Pep how he's doing that before the game. You're just going to have to see the game play out. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, this season, unlike last season where we could more or less 10 out of 11 players would get the lineup right, if not all 11. This season, it's different kettle of fish. It's difficult to predict what system and what we're going to play all season. So, yeah, I'm looking forward.
Ash, are you of the view that he's going to line up kind of like he did against PSG and try and sort of soak up pressure, counter-attack them? How do you think he's going to play this one out?
It's an interesting one because, I think it was Jamie Carragher. He came out first and said he reckons this is the exact formation we're going to play. The one that faced PSG, he's going to copy and paste that and put it against the bigger teams. And Man City's confident that we'll play in that similar system. And if you look at our options and our players, you'd probably agree. But there is one small caveat to that. It might be that if we want to run in behind, because that's where the space is going to be, you might look to play someone like a Johnson, for example. Even though he's not good at carrying or dribbling the ball, in that final third, he's someone that is quite potent in front of goal. But not only that, he's got the legs to run in behind and become a problem. If you do stick with the 5-3-2 or the 3-5-2, however which way you want to call it, then our right side is our strongest side. And then other than that, I can't see any other form of attack. Do you know what I mean? It just means that we're going to have to be ultra physical, in my opinion. We're going to have to go physical with them and try not to let them have as much control in that central area, which is where I think they're going to dominate. But definitely down our right-hand side, that's the way to go. Looking at Kudos, looking at Porro, those two players alone, they're going to be our most influential players going forward, in my opinion. Also, I think Sasa Toure, who's having a great season so far. Heard a magnificent pre-season too. The star boy, the real star boy, he's back. And so if he has a good game as well, he could cause City some problems because he's one player that can get back, help defensively, but then also in trying to get the ball up the pitch, he's going to be the one that's going to be looked to help us to achieve that. So there's a few things I'm looking at there. Maybe that's why I'm thinking, will Thomas throw a curveball, because Man City might have looked at that PSG game and planned for it and think, okay, we're going to hurt Spurs this way, because if they've got 5 at the back, we're going to have 5 at the top. And then we're going to have one of our midfielders doing we call it the 3rd man run. Well, if they got 5 players, we call it a 6th man run, because 6 players would be running just to outnumber how many players we've got back. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, but I honestly think we will revert back to the 5-3-2, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, what about Spence? Yeah. I think he's going to be important today. Spence
definitely 1v1 going forward as well. Sometimes you will invert and make an extra midfielder, but yeah, I think that left-hand side is going to be very interesting. That left-hand side is going to be very interesting to see how we play and how we navigate up that side. And if we are like predominantly on one side attacking, it's going to be easier for them to kind of because what they do with Nori, he's that I don't want to talk about Man City too much. There's a Tottenham pump up, but Nori, obviously, he's their fullback, and what they will do is if they don't make him overlap, they'll make him invert to make a midfield free. And if they make him invert to make a midfield free, that means when Kudos has the ball and he tries to push up, that's when Nuri will go closer to him to protect the back two in their 2-3-5 in possession style. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my thinking.
The thing I love
Yeah.
about Spence, right, is Spence is so confident. You watch him in interviews and stuff like that. I mean, there was one he turned around in training. He said to, I think it was Kudos. He actually said it to. He goes, "You won't get past me once." And that's what he said to Kudos in training. You're not going to get past me once. And do you know what happened at the end? Kudos never got past him in training. He fancies himself. It doesn't matter who he plays against. He fancies himself, and that has got to be absolutely superb.
Yeah, that's always good. The team is out. We've got Vicario in goal, Palinia, Richarlison, Romero, Kudus, Johnson, Porro, Spence, Sarr, Bentancur, Van der Ven. And then on the bench, we've got Kinski, Danso, Tell, Gray, Bergval, Vuskovic, Solanke, Odegaard, and Davis. I'm going to come to you first, Ash, because with that lineup, what system is he playing?
I called it. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Johnson starts because of that running behind. So there it is. That's why I was like, I was looking at that 5-3, but then I was like, I saw what Wolves basically did. How Wolves gave them trouble was centrally, over the top, being direct, going down the flanks. And I just thought that space, that player running in behind Johnson, obviously he scored as well. And that was that threat down that left-hand side. He's the only one that can give us that option. And maybe Pep was planning for us, looked at the PSG game. He was like, yeah, they're going to play like this. And then Frank said, nah, I'm going to throw a curveball and I'm going to do a 4-2-3-1. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, boy, it's what it is, man.
Yeah. Jimbo, what do you make of the lineup? Obviously, we was talking yesterday, and you thought Danso might get a start. He's been put on the bench today. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's why I love having Ash on, because he educates.
I know he knows everything.
Yeah,
Ash.
I'm guessing like the rest of us.
I never thought of that about Johnson, to tell you the truth, and Ash has got his spot on. Yeah, it looks a strong lineup, Kate. Look, we need players in, Kate, because we need to strengthen the bench. When you look at the bench, it's okay, but it's not. Nothing screams at you, does it? So we need to get players in. But that's probably as strong as you're going to get. Swapping, you can swap Solanke for Richarlison. Bergval, you could get in there, for Johnson or we're not going to get much stronger than that. So that's the only thing that worries me going forward. Is early in the season we're playing one game a week. When we start getting into 2 games a week and cup games as well thrown in there, that's when I start to get a little bit worried. That's why we need to have a strong end to the window. But look, it's a good team to go out there. I'm confident we can beat them. We got some good players on the pitch, and we've got a good manager that I just think he's a top manager. I wouldn't swap him for anyone, Kate. I love the way he sets the team up, the way he studies the other teams. So I think it's as good as we could get out there.
Yeah. And Jose, what's your thoughts? Where's the creativity coming from? That question we ask every single week. Where's the creativity coming from on this side?
This team is fluid. I mean, I think Ash says a 4-2-3-1. You can quite easily go from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-5-1 quite comfortably. And also you can drop it back into a 5 with Paulinho coming in between the centre halves, dropping deeper, the 2 fullbacks becoming wing backs. So you go into a 5. So in game, this selection is very, very fluid. You can change to multiple different styles depending on how you're getting on in the game here. The creativity is going to come from, I think, obviously it's Kudos.
Yeah.
But I think Porro provides you creativity as well. I think Sarr has started the season fire, and Sarr can be creative as well for us. I think people are dumbing down Sarr and saying he's not silky ball skill player. you know what, Sarr isn't that bad. You know, Sarr started off on fire, so there's enough there. You haven't got the people. You haven't got players in that team that you're going to say are out and out lot pickers, right? But they offer other attributes that are equally as important as a lot picker. So for me, I'd look at like I said, even Spence and Porro offer you something from them fullback positions. However they're playing, they offer you something. They've got quality, but I believe that so is Kudos but so is Sarr. Um, I was at the game last week when he took all the youngsters off and he brought on Paulinho and Bentancur right at the end of the game. And as a duo, they looked so impressive. I know it's only Burnley, but it's just the way their game management, their thought process, where they stand with each other to receive balls, how they receive the balls. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Yeah, I believe that we need further players in the squad, but I trust in Thomas Frank. He set this team up, and I believe that it's a team that, as I said, it's fluid, can change depending how the game's going.
Before we go on to the City lineup, we've got nearly 300 in and only 40 likes, which is wholly unacceptable. So please do smash a like on the video. This is the Manchester City lineup. We've got James Trafford, Rico Lewis, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, Outnori, Nico, Reinders, Oscar Bob, Turkey, Marmouche, and Haaland. And in the subs, we've got Edison, Ake, Doku, Rodri, Bernardo, Nunez, O'Reilly, Kusanov, and Foden. I'm laughing because every name's a bloody superstar. I mean, Ash, what do you make of their lineup?
Wow, they've started with Marmouche. Interesting. Marmouche plays a lot better when he's closer to goal, when he's more in field. I think out wide 1v1, he's not as effective. But I think what they've done is by playing him a little bit closer, I think they want Nuri to maybe overlap a little bit. I think he's going to be providing the width, in my opinion. Turkey, again, he can play right wing, but he's more of a profile from what I see. He's more of a number 10. Yeah, so what they're going to do is they're going to probably double up. So they're going to have two players attacking down the side on each flank. So I can see Oscar Bob combining with Reinders at times. So that'd be like a double threat, double attack. And then obviously Haaland's going to be central as a central striker. I think Nico at the back, he had the most completed dribbles out of any City player against Wolverhampton. So that's like a player that no one's really talking about. And he's like their DM. And also they've got Phil Foden back and Rodri back. But Rodri be very nervous of Richarlison because we all know what happened with the Ballon d'Or situation with Vinny Jr. He's still not happy about that. So I expect him to put a hard challenge on him. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, you know what? It's City is City. They've got so much options off the bench as well. As I said, that can cause Spurs trouble because Doku's on the bench. So when they're ready, they can throw him on. It's interesting they haven't gone with Bernardo Silva. Bernardo's on the bench as well. But every player you can see there, Oscar Bob being one, very comfortable in possession.
Yeah.
They can go either way, on the outside or on the inside. They've got a dual threat. But again, this team screams out to me like a lot of central progression. Like all the players they've got on at the moment, they're trying to load up the center as opposed to using the flanks and coming down the sides. So it's going to be an interesting game, man. It's going to be a very interesting game.
There's not many teams in the world that can sit there and have the likes of Ake, Rodri, Bernardo Silva and Foden on the bench. I mean, every player I read out there sends shivers down my spine, really. There's not anywhere where I look and I think they're a little bit weak there. This is going to be a really tough match. And Oscar Bob, I really rate highly as well. And it's typical that when we're playing them, you've got the likes of Rodri and Foden back. I mean, Jose, do you look at that and think there's any weakness there that we can expose?
I think it's, to be honest, looking at their lineup, it's a like for like. It looks like a 4-2-3-1. It's a like for like, the same as what we said about our side. So they've got Nico and Tiani Reinders playing as a two. I would have thought they'd play Oscar Bob out on the right, Mamouche out on the left, with Ryan Cherky in the hole and Haaland up front, which is more or less the way that we're going to set up as a 4-2-3-1. But in game, that can change. We can go to a 4-5-1. Like I said earlier, they can probably change as well and go to a 4-5-1. I don't think that they'll do, and Nico can do exactly what Paulinho does. If Nico needs to drop deep and split the two centre halves, the same as what Paulinho would do for us. I think it's an interesting matchup. I think it's a like for like situation, and I just think it's an interesting matchup. At the end of the day, Man City, said it earlier, Man City, Pep Guardiola, Man City, doesn't matter what 11 they stick out, they're always going to have a really good 11. But is, they've always stuck out a good 11 against us. And we seemed, or at the moment, we seem to be a bogey side for Man City, regardless what 11 they put out. So they had 11s with Aguero in their team before. Kevin De Bruyne. We can go on names. The Yaya Tourés. All these players are so-called superstars that they've had in the teams before. We've played against them. We've got results against them. And today, it's a different manager, a different style. But it doesn't matter what manager we've got. We seem to get results against City. So, but to me, there's a matchup. There is a matchup. And I think it will come down to, for Tottenham, it would come down to, with the matchup, it'd come down to desire, because you would have said man for man. You would say normally man for man, City have probably got one of the best teams in the league, if not Europe, man for man. And so for us, it would be down to desire, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Today.
I mean, Jimbo, I said earlier that Haaland got a brace last week. Reinder's got 1 goal, 1 assist. So he looked pretty warm. But we've got Richarlison, who suddenly seems to have remembered he's Brazilian. I mean, how good were his goals last weekend?
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, I said to you, didn't I, about the first goal, that it wouldn't get the credit it deserved after the second goal. First goal was fantastic, Kate. Ball was behind him, man. The way he swung round, put it in the corner. But look, this is City. It's exactly what Jose said. They've got to want it and go out there. The only thing that worries me is if it's really, really tight, with 20 minutes to go, the changes they can make and the changes we can make. So it stinks of PSG, the changes they made and the changes we can make. That's why I said it's so important we get some more players in this window. But look, it's a one-off game. It's us versus City. We've got the best record against City in the last so many years. I think it's 10 years, is it? So we can go out and win it. I'm backing my team all the way. Spurs all the way. Good win.
Ash, what's your thoughts on Richarlison? Because I was one of the ones who was, Richie's got to leave this club. And then he does that last week and you think, if Frank can keep him fit and keep him in form, I mean, what do you think?
Well, it's a World Cup year. And anytime it's a World Cup year, Richarlison turns into an animal. That's all you need to tell him. Richie, you're playing Serbia, huh? And all of a sudden, you see a different Richarlison. I'm like, listen, you can't make this up. Like, he couldn't trap a ball for no one. And then all of a sudden, he's holding up the play, he's linking play in the box. He's dangerous. And you know what it is? The difference, I say, that between maybe like a Richarlison and a Solanke. Richarlison, in the box, he comes alive. He's an animal. Do you know what I mean? He's instinctive. He's what you want your number 9 to be. But I think like outside the box, you kind of want Dom Solanke. And I don't know if Dom Solanke is more suited to this game in terms of like hold-up play, linking play, and he's an actual footballer. I think Solanke suits that profile a bit more. If you could blend both of the players together, that would be fantastic, because I don't know how Richarlison is 1v1, like with time in his side. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Richarlison was more of a chaotic player, where if you don't give him time to think about it, that's when he produces the goods and he scores more of the spectacular goals. A bit like Nunez for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? That's how I compare it to. But I just think it's a good option and it's a good problem to have, that you've got Solanke trying to get back in the team, trying to build his fitness back, breathing down his neck, because obviously he wants to get into the England team as well. Because in 2 weeks' time, there'll be a call up. So he's going to be trying to do everything he can. But like I said, Richarlison, that Champions League football coming as well. He's got a point to prove. And also, I think he feels like he's let a lot of the fans down. And he needs to pay us back because he's been injured a lot. So that's my actual my thought on Richarlison. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, look, hopefully he can do something, because if he is to be successful at this club and people are to give him respect, he needs to do it in the big games. And when I mean big games, I mean the Arsenals. Do you know what I mean? The Chelseas. And even today, do you know what I mean? And that's when he'll get respect. If you don't do it against the others, then people still beat you with a stick. Oh, but it was Burnley. Oh, he can only score against the mid teams. He can't do it against the bigger teams. So that's where we need our number 9. We need him to be clinical, especially inside that box. And that's a big question right now.
Yeah, look, I hear you. I mean, Jose, I get what Ash is saying about maybe Solanke is more suited for this game, but it would have been pretty harsh on Richarlison if he'd have dropped him. I mean, he was asked in his interview and he said, for now, Richarlison's my number 9. So it's good. We want competition for places. But I mean, what's your thoughts on the striker situation?
I see Ash go like that when he said, Richie, we're playing Serbia. I'm just wondering, Ash, what would he do if you say we're playing Argentina, we're playing Germany, we're playing Italy? If he's doing that for Serbia, cool. Right.
He's put a banger in it against Serbia. He scored that same goal.
He was. I was there, watched him first down. I was at the Burnley game last week, and I saw Robbie from Lily White Lane, and we were having a discussion, and I said, look, I prefer Solanke to Richarlison, but after Richie's performance against PSG, and obviously Solanke's coming back from injury, he's not fit yet, I said, you've got to start. I understand why you're starting Richie. And then he scored 2 absolutely fantastic goals. And it reminded me last year, the season before, when he had that run of scoring games in that period of time that he was fit, he scored 2 absolute worldies without, a bit like Ash said, without thinking, against Everton. We drew 2 all at Goodison, and he scored 2 banging goals then as well. For me, when Solanke came on and replaced him, the ball stuck to Solanke last week, and his hold up play and stuff like that, and being able to turn defenders in that. There's 2 different profiles of players there, but the key with Richarlison, and I think everybody in the fan base knows this, the key with Richarlison is 1, availability, him being fit. You need him to be fit and not niggles, knocks and stuff like that. And the other thing, he's one of these type of players. I'd say most of the players are like this, but some need it more than others, is the arm on the shoulder, arm pat on the back and stuff like that. Oh, they all need it. Every player needs it, but some more than others. And he seems to be one of them players. Richarlison's well liked within the group. The group, the Tottenham, the group, you know, the Tottenham. The one thing I'd say is you can see through Ange last year, right, and the season before, and now onto Thomas Frank, there is unity amongst these players. Whoever's playing and not playing, there is a unity at the club, and they all love Richarlison. So, you know, today he'll get another run, and obviously getting runs in the team breeds confidence. Goals breed confidence as well. So at the moment, Richie, for want of a better word, is on fire.
Yeah.
You know, and long may it continue. But again, as what you said, Kate, you want to have competition, and the competition is there. Richarlison's our starter at the moment. Solanke's not. Richarlison's scoring the goals. Solanke isn't. So it's, you know,
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
About Richarlison. Do you not believe in that debacle in terms of we tried to offer Richarlison away as a player? Because it keeps bubbling up. I didn't believe that at first. I think that's rubbish. It's absolute nonsense. But why did Frank come out and have to say? Because if it's not true, you don't need to come out and publicly say, "Yeah, he's my."
Well, he's probably said it because it was in the press. But we know that Johnny knows Richarlison's agent.
Was he asked?
Yeah,
okay.
The people at the press conference were asking him. He's not come out and said it. They asked him the question in the press conference. They said, you know, is there any truth in the blah blah blah? And he said, no, there's no truth at all. He's my number 9, you know. But he was asked the question. He didn't come out and say it off his own back.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and Johnny knows Richarlison's agent, he said it's utter nonsense, and he said the press could cause so much trouble because obviously Richarlison could be thinking, you know,
This is
I've
what
just
I'm
hit a bit of
saying.
form, you
This is
know,
what
what's
I'm-
going on? But
Yeah.
no, apparently there's no truth in it at all.
Wow, cool. Yeah, because I thought that could have been like something to affect his confidence. You know what
At
I
the
mean?
end of the day, as an individual, if your manager's talking to you all the time, he's got his arm around your back and stuff like that, and he's praising you and he's telling you you're going to be starting striker this weekend, blah blah blah, then there is no reason to doubt what your manager's saying to you. If your manager has a different conversation with you, then you're alert to a different conversation. But the conversations the manager's having with him at the moment, they're the ones that matter and count, not what John in the Sun says or Dave in the Express.
Of course.
That don't matter.
It's just that he's got previous mental health issues as well, and
Yeah.
obviously I know he's corrected that now. But if he's a player, as we know, he had a purple patch, and purple patch players are players that are confidence players. Do you understand? And so, a player like Kane, for example, he's not a confidence player. He's just got ultimate self belief. Like even if he goes through a bad run, he'll pick it up maybe the next day, or if he misses a chance, he's not going to bed thinking about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So personality and a character plays a big part, in my opinion, of where you are as a footballer. Are you a very good footballer, or are you elite? And so that's why I was looking at that kind of conversation that happened and that rumor. I wonder how Richarlison is going to respond to that now. But yeah, carry on as you guys are.
I just think the way Richarlison is, sorry, Jim, I think he's the sort who'd come out and think, why would they want to get rid of me? I'm going to show them my worth now of why I should be the number 9. But go on, Jim. Sorry.
I was going to say, as soon as it come out, Kate, what did I say to you? What a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
It was like, and I know, just to go back on that, I don't think we was ever going to get Eze. I think it was a done deal with Arsenal months ago. I mean, we just got strung along. I really do. You know, especially when that come out, we're going to sling Richie in. I mean, it's what a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
I think there was truth in Eze, but I just feel like we had a period where we could have got him, but we just kind of took too long. In my opinion.
Took too long. Yeah, that's how I feel.
But
if we'd acted a week earlier or 2 weeks earlier and just pressed the button, because Havertz's injury didn't come till now, and we'd been talking to him for 2 weeks prior. If we had just pulled the trigger button, then well before the Havertz injury, then we may have had an opportunity to get him. But we let it fester, we let it go on too long, and also as well in the background, you know, it smelt that they were in the background as well. And you know, at the end of the day, the lads, it's the lads' team. Do you know what I mean? We're all pissed off because he didn't come to us. It's the lads' team. You know, at the end of the day, if he's a red, he's a red. Let him go.
But look, I can say that about Tyrese Hall. He's an Arsenal fan. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got we've got players that are Arsenal fans in our squad, bro. So I kind of dismissed all that. Do you know
we had Darren Bent as well. Benty's a massive Arsenal fan.
He had to delete the actual tweets for how he's an Arsenal fan. Do you know what I mean? We've been linked with a player called Hoyland. Was it Hoyland? Hyson plays for FC Sporting Lisbon. And he's a DM, but he's got an Arsenal tattoo on his calf, and Spurs fans still want him. Do you understand? So just, Bob, do you know how many Arsenal fans live in Tottenham? Like, it's what we doing there? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. So I don't really pay any mind, but I hear what people are saying, and I do hear the other side. But anyway, back to the preview.
Well, I don't think for a minute we was ever going to get him. I think it was all pulled our pants down. I think from the beginning that they'd done a deal with Arsenal, and it was just waiting to pull the trigger. I think we offered more money than them, Ash, and we still never got him. Yeah.
Well, look, people will always come to their own conclusions based on their thoughts and agendas. So we will see. We will see what happens. But one thing we know is that he will not be playing for us anytime soon. But Jimbo, what I was going to say is the other guy last week who scored and took his goal really well, a guy that gets untold amounts of stick, Brennan Johnson, got another goal. Johnson again, ole, ole. I don't know what this kid's got to do for the fan base to kind of get off his back a little bit. What's your thoughts on Brennan?
Well, you know my thoughts on Johnson. I love him. You know, he scores goals. What more do you want? I mean, he could work a bit harder, But look, I think under Frank, you're not going to get away with just not working, no matter if you score goals or not. You need to work with him if you're going to be in a Frank team. So that come, just give him a bit of time working with him. But look, he puts the ball in the net. You know, he was our top scorer last season. He's come on last week. He scored. I mean, I don't know why he gets so much stick. It's people saying it's because he doesn't work hard enough. But I don't know if you remember Gary Lineker, Ash. I know Jose will, right? He made a living out of putting the ball in the net. He never did anything else, but he put the ball in the net, you know, and look what a striker he was. I just think that people need to lay off him, let Frank work with him, and he'll get better and better as time goes on.
The thing is, he gets called a tapping merchant, but I thought he took his goal really well. You know, how many times do we see a player go one-on-one with a keeper and fluff it? But Ash, you're quite a tactical-minded fella. So what do you make of Johnson?
So I think if Johnson was signed as a striker, I think the fan base wouldn't be on him. I think it's as simple as that. And he's actually quite good on goal. He's clinical. So that's not the debate. I think the debate is what he does with the ball. So there's times when I think football is all about momentum, in my opinion. So, you know, silencing the away fans, or if you're at home, getting the fans to stand on their feet, and that can push the team up the pitch. It's as simple as that. And unfortunately, from what I've seen, Johnson's just not that profile player. He's even admitted that he needs to improve his 1v1s. I think that's his biggest critique at the moment. I just think in possession as well. Is he a player that's safe in possession and can get you up the pitch? That's definitely what you need. And I think he does lack that. So when you've got a player on your pitch and you're playing, 90 minutes, and that player only turns up when it's the final action. What about defensive third, mid thirds? What about the other stages as well? You need to help your team in other ways, not just about scoring the goals. But I do admit scoring the goals is the hardest thing. You know, that's why people pay the big bucks. So I think that's why there's such a massive debate. However, in a game like this, if he doesn't do well, this is when, or you don't see him, this is when the knives will come out again, unfortunately, because you've got previous. It is what it is. You can't escape from it. You can't run from it until he addresses that side of his game. And I think that's why people are clamoring for the Savinho deal to happen, because he's the opposite. Do you know what I mean? If we get Savinho, we break our records to sign a player of his ilk, then it's going to be very hard to see Johnson getting back in or starting anyway in the side if he comes to the club. So without being super tactically, I think it's as black and white as it gets.
Is there an argument to try him as a second striker?
I just don't think he has the physicality, the hold-up play to be a striker like that. I mean, if he played two strikers, then possibly, but he can't play as a lone striker, in my opinion. No. If you've got someone that's going to collect the ball for him, hold a player up, create separation, and he's just running in behind and he's making that movement, then yeah, you can play that. In this kind of forward line, I think him hugging a touchline doesn't work. I think he has to go in field and get onto a stronger foot, come inside the box, be in the box. He's got lovely timing, good movement. He knows when to arrive into the box, and that's a skill in itself. And then he's got the finish to go with it. So he's an intelligent player, someone that knows how to attack the space. And when it comes to finishing, he's great. So that's my thoughts of him in terms of like being a striker.
Yeah. What about you, Jose? Anything to add on Johnson? Oh, sorry, Jim. Go on.
I think he'll learn a lot under Frank. I think Frank could bring him on leaps and bounds, Kate. Sorry, Jose.
I hope so. Yeah, Jose.
I agree with a lot of Ash said, and I agree with what Jim said as well. For me, he's an inside forward. He plays as a two up front. He's an inside forward. He arrives late. He knows where the goal is. His conversion is very good. His conversion rate. He's not the position that he was flung out to play last year. It's not his position. You can see there's night and day between Kudos and Johnson. When you're looking for a person to play hug touch line, one-to-one take on Merchant, Kudos is that man. It's not Johnson. It's not his game at all. But they tried to mould him into that type of player last season. It hasn't worked, and Thomas Frank will coach him differently to what he's been coached so far. And the interesting thing is that Frank said himself, there's a couple of players in this squad that Frank wanted when he was at Brentford, and Johnson was one of them. Archie Gray wanted at Brentford as well. So there's some players here that he wanted at Brentford that they were actively looking to try to sign because he told the board he wanted them. So he's now got them at Tottenham. We're not Brentford. We play differently. We've got different profiles of players. Let's see what Thomas Frank does with.
Do you think, though, at Brentford, it was a different scenario because obviously they're a different club and maybe you've got more time to develop one game a week. And then maybe he's come here. It's a bit different pressure, different expectation, different budget as well to work with. He might have different plans altogether and the type of targets that he wants. Because I'm thinking, does he want Spurs to be more of a physical team, more of a powerful team? And I look at players like, no offense, like Johnson's not that kind of profile, in my opinion, where he's like a powerful runner. You look at Kudos, he's powerful. Do you know what I mean? He's strong on the ball. He's quite agile. He's fast. And maybe that's where Frank sees a lot of the players. I know like a lot of people in the fan base, we are desperately in need of as a passer. But some of the profiles we have been linked to previously, and from what Frank was saying, like, for example, Morgan Gibbs-White, he's a lot more taller. He's a lot more like stronger, physical, and he's got a lot more experience. And I felt the way we went last season, we went heavily youth-centric. And I think this season we're going more experienced, not necessarily senior in years, even though we have Sam Paulinho so far, but in terms of experience in minutes, in terms of how much football they've played, I think that's the direction they're going in. I don't know how much time Frank has got because it's a different pressure to develop players if they don't hit the ground running. Because imagine if Johnson doesn't do well and your likes of the Archie Gray doesn't do well, players that he wanted, then the results might reflect that. And then all of a sudden he's under pressure. Do you know what I mean? Getting knocked out of cups early, you know what our fan base is like. It's catastrophe. And so in a different world, in a different scenario, if Frank came to us a season earlier, we're in Europa and we had time to work with youngsters and etc., I think it would be a completely different conversation. But I just feel that after the protests, and protests are still ongoing, there's a different pressure, not just on Frank, but on the board as well. And so it'll be interesting to see what type of profiles we bring. Just quickly back onto the game, though, before you go any further. I think it'll be very, and Jose, you touched on this. I think it'll be interesting. I know you spoke about the matchups. I think it'll be interesting to see how we deal with Reinders, because for me, Reinders doesn't stay still.
No,
he's not a player that just stays on the left-hand side of the midfield or the right-hand side of the midfield, if that makes sense. He would sometimes be in the box, but sometimes he would drop deep. And I'm like, do we follow him and go man to man, or do we step off in a mid block? Do you understand? Because if you follow him into the no man's land, then all gaps start opening up. And that's going man to man. If you do a mid block, City, what they will do is they will create extra bodies. And like I said, they'll get 6 bodies forward and we'll outnumber them. That might be the way to go forward, though, to drop a little bit off, because then there's space in behind to hit, etc., etc. But it's between Bentancur and Paulinho when you're seeing Oscar Bob, when you're seeing Shirky, when you're seeing Reinders rotate, because they're so fluid. Who picks up who? I want to see the communication. Does Paulinho pass on to Bentancur quick enough? Does Paulinho come across to help Porro out when he's getting pulled out? Do you understand? Because I can see that right-hand side being taken advantage of if we're trying to push up for a counter attack, for example, Kudos is going up high and Poro follows, then all of a sudden the space in behind, we get hit in the transition, because with their new coach Pep Blinders, who used to play under Liverpool under Klopp, he's more of a counter-attacking team. He's more of a direct team. And I remember Pep was saying we need to be more like the Bournemouths, the Newcastles, the Brightons. Do you know what I mean? In terms of transition. So I'm just intrigued on that counter press element, how we deal with that, how Frank sets us up. Does he do, as I said before, a mid to low block, or does he go for man to man and aggressive, or does he do a mix of a blend? It'll be interesting to see how he does the game management.
I reckon
think
if he does the matchups, it'll be Cherky and it'll be Paulinho. It'll be Reinders and Bentancur and Sarr onto Nico. That's what I would have thought if they're going to do the matchups.
You don't think at one point those three midfielders, because they're so fluid.
Yeah, that's it. They'll switch, but I'm just saying if they start like that. You've got to talk to each other. Yeah, but if they start like that, I'm saying that's what I think would happen. But then you will switch. I mean, last week in the game against Burnley, what was noticeable was for the first 20 minutes, if you're going to look, I don't like using the numbers, but you're going to look the 6 and the 8 and the 10. At the start of the game, the 6 was Gray, the 8 was Bergvall. Sorry, the 8 was Sarr, the 10 was Bergvall. After 20 minutes, the Sarr Bergvall switch happened, where Sarr became the 10, Bergvall became the 8. And that's how it looked for the rest of the time that the players were on the pitch, that Sarr was the furthest forward out of the 3. So, yeah, it's a case of communication, and there will be switching. You can't be static, but that's what I'm saying about the team that he selected, equally with Man City as well. In game, you can change formations and change what you're doing dependent on what is happening in the game.
Yeah, I agree. Just answer that question, Cantab. I think we'll only go to a 3-5-2 if we're trying to protect a lead, in my opinion. Because at the moment, this formation is the more attacking formation out of the two, in my opinion. But
yeah. I agree. I think I was going to say I think Reinders will be their key man today, and if we can sort of keep him quiet, we've got half a chance. But he just looks, what I would do to have someone like that in our team. But look, it's coming to that time of the show where we need scores. We've already got some score predictions. Well, I'll take a 2-2. 1-0 Johnson again, Ole off the bench, although he's playing, so won't need to come off the bench. 3-1. We've got a 3-1 Spurs. Oh, and that'd be nice. Jose, what do you fancy for the score today?
Right, it's going to be a tactical game today. I can't go against my team already. I can't go against my team this season. And seeing the way that we've played the first 2 games of the season, and knowing that Frank will adapt and change the team around for what's needed, I've actually gone for a 2-1 Tottenham victory. I don't care who scores the goals. To me personally, I don't care. Just win the game. Anybody can score. But if you're going to press me on it, I'm going to go Sarr and Richarlison.
I like it. I like it a lot. I've sat on the fence a little bit today, and I've gone with a 2-2 draw. I don't want to predict us to lose. I don't think we've got enough to win, so I'm going to sit on the fence with splinters in my bum and go for a 2-2. Good morning, Mr. Daigle. Hope you're well.
Morning,
Ash.
Yeah.
Well, Cantab thinks it'll be 3-3 Goalfest. What do you fancy for today?
Not a bad shout, 3-3, you know. I can't call it because I thought we were going to get battered against PSG, and look what happened. Do you know what I mean? So I have to be fair to the boys. The boys stuck it in, and it was only because the last 10-15 minutes we ran out of steam. They came onto us. They had the substitutes, and that was the difference between the two teams. And I feel like it's a similar thing with Man City. They've got the bench that we don't. They got the difference. Hopefully, Frank did learn from that PSG, and he picked up a few things as well. He did learn a lot from the Bayern Munich game. He said that can't happen again. We can't be like this. That force changes. So whatever happens today, it's all learning. It's all learning curve. But I'm gonna say 2-1, but I don't know which way. I'm gonna say 2-1, but I don't know which way. I don't know if I can. I don't know if that's allowed. Has that ever been said on a
No, because they're sitting on the fence even more than me. At least I
2-1 Spurs. Sorry, Jim. I apologize. 2-1 Spurs. It will never happen again. 2-1 Spurs. We're going to upset. No one's going to see it coming. Do you know, a Frank masterclass? No, I'm not going to go that far, but Frank's going to do something special. And but if we are to lose, I'm just going to say this, yeah. No, sorry, it's not possible. But if it was, I'm just saying there might be a silver lining in a Brazilian called Savinho. That's what I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to end it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Who's going to score for us, though, Ash?
Good question. Set piece. Ole. Set piece, and Johnson. I think one of our defenders, maybe Bentancur. I think maybe Bentancur, Romero header, and then Johnson finish as well. That's what's going to happen right now. Yeah, I can feel it.
I like it. I'm going to go.
Boys, come on, you Spurs. Come on.
I'm going to go Johnson for the victory. Jimbo, come on then. Come on, Jim. What's the score going to be?
What are we? Fucking European champions. What did I say the score would be last year? Kate?
4-0.
What was the score?
4-0.
And this year it's going to be 3-0. 3-0 to the European champions. We're going to go up there, we're going to smash them. 3-0. Better manager, better players. 3-0 to the mighty Spurs.
And who's going to score, Jimbo?
Richie Johnson, and I'm one of the defenders. I'm not sure. I'll go with Romero on a set piece.
Okay, wow. 5-3 says Acco. 3-2 says Captain Cupcake. I like that name. Spurs, Richie with 2 and Tell gets 1. Wow. Cantab says the best pump up ever. Calling it now, lads. Richarlison header to win the game 2-1.
Richie.
I'll take that all day long. Jose, what is going on over at El Cockerel?
Back tomorrow. So we'll do my Sunday show at midday tomorrow. I think I've got Chang, although Chang is because we're in different time zones. It's a bit weird because I message Chang and then don't hear back until I'm asleep.
He did tell me yesterday he's doing it with you on Sunday.
Oh, he is. Okay, so Chang will be on tomorrow. And I believe Ellie's on with me because Ellie's flown out to Cyprus, I think, today, but said that she was going to do it from the hotel in Cyprus. So, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at midday. And then I'm doing my predictions results show on Tuesday. I'll have another show during the week and then back to predictions for the last game week 3 on Friday before we break up for the international break.
Excellent. Make sure everyone goes over and subs to El Cockerel. Ash, what's going on over at Spurs Kings TV?
What isn't going on at Spurs Kings TV? That's the question. Yeah. You know what? I mean, like, a bit not lazy, but I want to try and push different types of content out this season. Always trying to wrap my brain to do things a little bit different. I love you guys' content as well. It's really good. I watch all the time. And so it's inspiring to see like the different community Spurs space, how they do things. So I want to try my hand at some different types of content if possible. But we've got a Tuesday show as per usual, break things down, talk about, you know, players that might not be on the radar as well. But then we've got our crazy show, Rivals. Rival show is completely fun. Like people might get upset because there's slander about our club. But it's literally just banter. It's literally for a laugh. People look at it, but they might not understand what's going on or what's being said. But like all behind it is just a bag of laughs. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes we talk over each other, but it's a part of the drama, it's part of the theatre, the razzmatazz. So if you want to be entertained and you don't mind people trying to take the piss out of you, then Rivals is where it's at. It's a different type of show. But yeah, if you want more like Spurs related talk and just Spurs talk and more debates like that, then Tuesday's where it's at, man.
Ash, that show you did last week on Last Word on Spurs with Ricky Sachs.
Oh,
is that going to be a regular?
No. So I think it's just literally because of the transfer window.
It was brilliant.
Loads of people have a lot of. I don't even know which one you're talking about because I've been on it so many times.
Well,
but
there's been a couple of shows where it's just been you and Ricky, and they've been fantastic.
Oh, thank you, guys, thank you. Yeah. I just think at the moment it's a case of because people want to know what's going on in the Spurs world. We're just chopping it up in terms of transfers, and I think after that, then you'll probably see less of me on that show. It's going to be back to like the normal match reactions, etc.
Yeah,
but yeah, man.
Excellent. Make sure you all go over subscribe to Spurs King TV. There's no one in the Tottenham community with a better analysis than Ash. It's as easy as that. And over at Kate and Jimbo, we're back on Monday reviewing this match.
Waffle. It's just
yeah,
waffle.
just come to us if you just want to chill. We've got have a drink down the pub and just chat waffle about football. That's our channel, really. And sometimes we even have a domestic or two. But yeah, please do join us back again on Monday. Make sure you're all smashing a like. We've got over 600 in here, only 131 likes. Not good enough. Smash a like for Ben and Sim. Thank you so much, Jose, for coming on again. Ash, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a while. Don't leave it so long next time. Jimbo, I'll let you finish the show because you always pump them up that one last bit.
We're 4-0 last year. This year it's going to be 3-0. We are the mighty Spurs. Have faith in your team. And Frank is a better man. I saw someone pull me up. Frank is a better manager than Ange. Ange was an excellent manager for us, won us a trophy. But tactically, Frank is a better manager. And that's just the truth. So get behind the boys. We're going to go to City and we're going to smash them. Come on, you Spurs.
Up the Spurs, man. Quiz. Come on, let's go.
Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Up the